Possible new additions coming to Central's campus as Mount Pleasant City Council agrees to changes in a resort license.
And a high school student is dead following a big game. We'll have the details on these stories and more coming up at 5.
Live from Mount Pleasant's own, this is News Central 34 at 5.
Good evening and welcome to News Central 34. I'm Deanna Falzone.
And I'm Chelsea Humphrey.
Sleet and freezing rain caused a number of road closures and closed dozens of schools in Michigan this morning. The storm rolled in before rush hour, leading to many accidents, including at least one death.
That's right, Deanna. Various portions of major highways across Michigan had to be closed by police as vehicles scattered across the roads. Crews have been out trying all day to treat the roads, but are delayed by the number of accidents. Now we'll head over to Bragg Sugden live outside, braving the cold weather and tracking potential freezing rain heading our way.
Brad, how is this freezing rain going to affect travels out on those roads tonight?
Yeah, Deanna, we are going to see those roads become treacherous again tonight. Temperatures are going to be about 31 degrees, so any liquid precipitation that does come down is going to freeze upon contact. And we are going to see about 2/10 to 3/10 of an inch of ice on those roads, making them very dangerous. So if you are traveling, make sure you take it slow and allow extra time to get to wherever you have to go. So as we take a look at our weather alert graphic, you can see there are a total of 8 counties that do have warnings out. Clare and Isabella County as well as Mecosta are under a winter weather advisory for that freezing rain. And everyone south of us, Montcalm, Gratiot, Shiawassee, and Genesee counties are under those flood warnings. So please take it safe tonight, and we'll have more coming up later on in the show.
Thanks, Brad. Main Street will be seeing 2 new fraternity houses as Mount Pleasant City Commission approved building permits. Developer and landlord Joe Oliveri plans to build one this summer and the other during the summer of 2012. Both houses are more than 8,000 square feet, each housing up to 12 tenants, including a rear parking lot with 14 parking spaces. Planners also approved a change in floor plans for the proposed L1 Bar and Grill, a hybrid nightclub and restaurant to be built in the Central Square Shopping Center. L1 CEO Sherry Chahill said that his company also plans to begin construction this summer.
Recent changes at the Isabella County Animal Shelter are bringing a little more comfort to animals. With a $10,000 grant from the Michigan Department of Agriculture, the shelter can now carry out spay and neuter procedures in-house. Shelter officials say being able to have a vet do the surgeries right at the shelter will add less stress on both the animals and the employees.
A woman is dead and a child was critically injured after an overnight fire in Flint. Police say the fire was set to cover up the murder on the city's west side. The 3-year-old was taken to a Flint hospital with unknown injuries. Investigators did not say how the woman died or how the child was injured. Currently, no suspects are in custody and there is little information available at this time. And a basketball game ends in tragedy as a high school player collapses and dies just moments after hitting the game-winning shot. 16-year-old Wes Leonard made the winning layup in overtime against Bridgman last night to finish Fenville's perfect 20-0 season. Leonard fell to the floor after fans and teammates rushed the court and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The cause of death is still unknown and an autopsy is scheduled.
According to a new poll, Michigan voters are more likely to agree with budget cuts to higher education than to their local schools. The survey was conducted by Lansing-based Epic MRA and found 51% of state voters support Governor Snyder's plan to cut state aid to universities by 15%, while 43% of voters do not support the cuts. In comparison, 62% of people strongly disagree with the governor's plan to cut funding to K-12 school districts by 4%, with only 32% agreeing to the cuts. And despite objections from users and distributors, so-called marijuana bars could be outlawed in the state of Michigan. A bill approved by a Senate committee on Thursday says allowing on-premise smoking of medical marijuana will promote dangerous driving as users leave the location. Opponents of the bill say it interferes with their efforts to consume medical marijuana for medical purposes.
A Lansing lawmaker is trying to ban guns in libraries. This follows local officials complaining about people bringing weapons into the Lansing library. Democratic State Representative Joan Bauer and some of her constituents were shocked to discover the apparent oversight in churches, stadiums, hospitals, and other public places that do have the gun-free designation. Currently, Bauer is working with the Library Association and the law enforcement community on 2 bills that would change that.
Heads up to ice fishermen. The Department of Natural Resources and Environment is reminding fishermen who have shanties on northern Michigan and Upper Peninsula waterways that the dates for mandatory removal are approaching. In the northern Lower Peninsula, ice shanties need to be removed by midnight on March 15th. In the Upper Peninsula, shanties must be removed by midnight March 31st. However, anglers are required to remove shanties as soon as the ice is unsafe to hold them, regardless of the date. Shanty owners who allow the structures to fall through the ice are subject to penalties up to 30 days in jail, fines of not less than $100 or more than $500, or both.
Some Michigan fire departments could be seeing some extra money. U.S. Senators Carl Levin and Debbie Stabenow say $1 million in federal grants will be heading to Southgate, Benton Township in Eaton County, and Fenton and Dearborn Heights fire departments. Southgate will receive $791,000, which it plans to use in the area of hiring. Benton Township is set to receive $145,000. Dearborn Heights has $92,000 coming its way, and Fenton will receive $23,000. All three departments will use the federal money in the areas of operations and safety.
A destructive fire at an auto supplier plant in Flint is causing a parts shortage. That shortage is now impacting several other automaker plants. General Motors canceled production shifts at assembly plants in Flint and in Ohio due to the shortage. Those plants make interior components for a number of automakers. GM says it's rescheduling production, changing overtime plans, and running shorter shifts at the plants. Production at the Flint plant is expected to resume Monday.
Dozens of people who rely on Michigan's film industry are trying to save tax incentives for movie and television production companies. The group gathered in Troy last night to discuss ways to lobby legislators to keep at least part of the credits. Governor Snyder called for eliminating the credits and capping new incentives at $25 million. There is fear that the local film industry has already been hurt by just the talk of cutting the tax credit.
And usually when you see students walking around campus with protest signs, they're usually upset about something. Well, not this week. CMU's art students are protesting as means to raise awareness about a lecture series on campus called Art Now. The series is focused on contemporary protest art. Every year, the art department brings a series of speakers to campus to focus on a current topic. They hope the lectures appeal to the community and students of every discipline, not just art students. News Central 34 had the chance to speak with David Stairs, an art professor involved in planning the week of lectures.
The arts aren't in the closet, and they aren't just a matter of people working away quietly in a studio somewhere. The arts are very much engaged in our society, economically and politically, and I think that's represented pretty well by the people we've got coming to campus this year.
The series begins on March 14th and will run through the end of the month. It is free and open to the public. For more details, check out the event page at Central's website. And that's all we have for you tonight. I'm Deanna Falzone.
And I'm Chelsea Humphrey. Have a great weekend.